Hello and welcome. This is Real Numbers video number 4, and today we are going to do a quick recap on HCF, that is highest common factor, and LCM, lowest common multiple. Now let's take a look at, let's pick two random numbers. So let's say our two numbers are the number 8 and the number 50. Now we want to find out HCF of 8 and 50, and we want to find out LCM of 8 and 50. So the first thing that we will do is we are going to do prime factorization of each of these two numbers. So we can write 8 as 2 times 4, and we can break down 4 as 2 times 2. So we can write the number 8 as 2 times 2 times 2, or simply 2 to the power 3. What about the number 50? Well, 50 we can write it as 5 times 10, and 10 we can write it as 2 times 5. So we can write 50 as, so let's do it over here, 50 as 5 times 2 times 5, or we can write it as 2 times 5 squared. Now what is going to be the HCF of this? So HCF, what is the HCF of 8 and 50? So HCF is the highest common factor. So we are looking for common factors. So we notice that we have a 2 here and we have a 2 here. So we can write one of the factors is 2. Now, are there any other common factors? So for 8 now we are left with 2 and 2, and for 50 we are left with 5 and 5. So it seems like there are no other common factors, and hence we say that HCF of 8 and 50 is just the number 2. Now what about LCM? Let's do it over here. So what is the LCM of 8 and 50? LCM of 8 and 50 means we are trying to find out such a number which can be divided by both 8 and 50, and it should be smallest such number. So how do we go about finding that out? Well, first of all, that number must be divisible by 8. That means the number has to have 2 times 2 times 2, right? It can have some other things, but it has to be minimum 2 times 2 times 2, because if it does not contain 2 times 2 times 2, it is not going to be divisible by 8. Now let's see what all we need for the number to be divisible by 50. Well, we need the number to contain a 2, which we already have here. Let's say this is the 2. But we now need to have 5 and 5. So our number needs to have times 5 times 5 in order for our number to be divisible now by 50. In other words, this allows a number to be divisible by 8, and this allows a number to be divisible by 50. So our LCM then we say is 2 to the power 1, 2, 3, 3 times 5 square. Now, so we have HCF as 2 and LCM as this. Now, just for the fun, if we were to find out HCF times LCM, what do we see? So, well, HCF is the number 2 times LCM is 2 cubed times 5 square. Or we can write it as 2, and here we can take 1 2 over here, and then we'll be left with 2 2's, and here 5 square. Or we can find this out. This will be 2 square times, here this will be 2 times 5, 10 square. So this will be 100, this will be 4, it will be 400. Now, if you notice that when we multiply 8 and 50, we get 400. In other words, what we see is that for any two positive integers a and b, if we find out the HCF and if we find out the LCM, when we multiply them, we will always get a times b. Now you may think that, well, we just took one example and it just so happened. I strongly recommend that you take any two numbers of your choice and play around with it. What you will notice is that every single time when you do the HCF and when you do the LCM, when you multiply HCF and LCM, you will always get a times b. And we can use this formula to find out, let's say if the numbers are given, a and b are given to us, and either LCM is given or HCF is given. So we can find out the other one. Meaning now here we have, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 variables. There is the HCF, there is LCM, and then there are the 2 numbers. If any 3 are given, we can find out the 4th. So this is actually a very powerful formula. Again, this is nothing new. We have done this before in our earlier classes, but it was important to have a quick refresher of this because going forward, we are going to be using this in some of the other questions that we are going to solve. So if you have enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel so that you will get notified immediately when I upload a new video, and don't forget to click the bell icon.